Stephanie, do you want to take the floor, sister?
Yes, and I just saw the little record button, right? We're recording?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be with you tonight, and I'm coming to you from Arizona. So we did a last-minute trip out here. So anyhow, I am excited to share with you guys on belief tonight. So Sarah asked me to do a call, and I was like, well, what do you want me to share about? And we actually did a leadership kind of rendezvous a couple of weeks ago, and one of the most common things that I heard from our leaders that their teams were really needing was belief. And some people said belief in, different things, but, and so I just thought that what better subject to kind of speak on tonight with you guys. So I've got some notes because I wanted to make sure I don't miss anything. So with that belief, I know that belief is the one magic key to your success in really anything, but we're speaking on plexus tonight. So there are 3 types of belief that you need to have, and you need to build yourself up in if you want to be successful in this business. The first is belief in our products. The second is belief in this company. And the third is the belief in yourself. And belief in yourself is the biggest one, and I'm going to speak the most on that tonight. So I want to share with you guys just really briefly the first 2. So belief in our products. If you are lacking belief in our products, I think the number one thing you need to do is take them. Take them right. Make sure that you're doing your part in doing what you need to do to make sure that they are as effective as they can be, so that you're watching what you eat, that you're not consuming artificial sweeteners, that you're trying to cut out sugar and exercising a little bit. Take them right and take them consistently to build your belief in our products, because your own testimony, being a product of the product, is going to be the most powerful way to build belief in our products. And then secondly, if you're lacking belief in our products, I would encourage you guys to really do a binge on some testimonies. Go through, we've got a couple different testimonials pages, and just read through. Search something that might be close to your heart. If you've got any kind of health issues or symptoms that you're curious about, or just anything, just go on to some of those testimonials pages and read testimonies until you find some that make you cry. That will build your belief in our products beyond anything that, anything else. So if I know if you haven't experienced it yet, you will. You'll experience customers that come and go, and the customers that decide to try the product really briefly, and they may not be taking it right or consistently, and that can really be a little blow to your belief in our products. Like, maybe these things don't work. Maybe it's just a fluke that it's working for me. If you're feeling like that, again, go on a testimony binge and find those testimonies that make you cry, and just build your belief in our products. Secondly, belief in our company. If you feel like you lack belief in our company, I've got 3 big suggestions for you. First, attend an opportunity meeting and actually participate. Because sometimes I'll go to opportunity meetings, and there are the people in the back that I eyeball, and I really want to get over to see them and talk to them, and they sneak out before you can ever talk to them. So don't just attend an opportunity meeting, but actually participate. Go introduce yourself to the speaker if you don't know who they are. Online opportunity meetings are great. We use Zoom a lot, and so you can do this where you see face-to-face with people, but there's nothing like going to a live opportunity meeting. You're going to hear from other people, again, with the products that the products are working for, and it will help build your belief in the company, the culture of what you're a part of. My next suggestion would be always go to corporate events or jewel events. Sometimes we have big jewel events that are not necessarily sponsored by the company, but go to those corporate events. Go to Super Saturday. Make it a point to make your way to convention no matter what it takes. Earn your way to Leaders Retreat, because those events will instill a belief in our company that is unshakable. When you get in a room full of thousands of people, or even just a couple hundred people that believe in plexus, you can't help but have it rub off on you. And finally, learn the compensation plan inside and out. That might seem kind of funny, and I know a lot of people get hung up on the thought of money and, oh, I'm not in it for the money. I want to help people. And I don't want people to think that I'm making money off of them. But more people go to sleep at night worried about how they're going to make it to their next paycheck. So if you can show them a way to make an extra $300 this month, that means they're going to be able to pay their bills without charging a credit card, or that they can buy their kids Christmas gifts this year without having to charge it. That's huge. So, I think the best way to get comfortable with that and build belief that we have a compensation plan unlike anybody else's is to commit your time to actually learning it. You know, there's no better way to learn something than to teach somebody else. So if you take the time, what I personally did, I printed out the 11-way compensation plan. It's a full sheet, and we have it on our team pages. Looks like Sarah might be pulling it up. And it's got little numbers on all the different 11 ways that we get paid. And I would spend literally probably for the first month or two, every night, it was on my nightstand. I would go to bed, and before I fell asleep, I would look at that compensation plan and try to figure it all out. And I would have a scratch piece of paper and play with the numbers. I hate math, but that's fun math. If you play the what if game, say, okay, if I were an emerald and I had this many points, then that means I would have, X amount of dollars in pay points. And that's the one with all the colors on it. But play the what if game, learn the compensation plan inside and out. Listen to, I'm going to share, I'll send Sarah a link to a really good compensation plan video that goes into it. It's by Natalie Fuller. She's an Emerald Ambassador, but she goes into why our compensation plan is truly completely different and the best. That sounds so cliche, but we honestly and truly have the best compensation plan out there, hands down. She actually was part of a group that flew all over the United States and reviewed compensation plans for different network marketing companies. And so she's like a compensation plan guru, and she tells you in this video what makes our compensation plan so unique and so different. And I'll send that link to Sarah so that you guys can do it. But seriously, there's nothing like knowing our compensation plan, because then that will give you the confidence to share with other people. And it will just, if you understand the power that is in our compensation plan, there's no way that you cannot have belief in the company. Okay, so I spent through those because I really want to spend the most of our time together tonight on talking about belief in yourself. So you probably have heard this quote from Henry Ford: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And it's so, so true. Lack of belief in yourself is the number one obstacle that I see in ambassadors. Some people will just flat out say they don't think they can do this. But some people will say that they can, but deep down inside, they really don't see how that it could actually happen for them. They see that it's happened for other people, and then they start listing in their heads, well, yeah, but she's really outgoing, and I'm not that. Or she has no fear. She's so bold, and I'm just not that. And they start listing all the reasons in their head why they could never do that. But they're really excited about the opportunity, and they'll say that they believe they can do it, but you just might. Maybe there's a little voice deep down inside that's telling you can't. So I would hope all of you have a little piece of paper and a pen or pencil right now in front of you. If you do, could you grab your paper and your pencil? And I want you just to write your name on the paper. And when you're done with that, I want you to put the pen or pencil in your other hand, your non-dominant hand, and write your name. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So I want to share with you guys that I honestly, every single person that I meet, that I come across in Plexus, I'm swiping through looking at all of your faces right now and your names. And I truly see the potential diamond ambassador that each one of you are. Each one of you can be a diamond ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. I have absolutely no doubt. There's also no doubt in me that each one of you will have to grow in order to get there. every single person that comes to this business, and myself included, obviously I've never stopped and I will continue to grow. It's going to take growth to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Now, I can give you skills and techniques and phrases and tell you what to say to people all day long, but I cannot do the personal development for you. That is something that you have to be committed to, and you guys have to understand the importance of it. If you guys, if only you could see what I've seen, and I've only been around for less than 2 years, but some of the stories that I've watched unfold for people where, and myself included, where, in the times of real, true personal growth, people's businesses are flourishing and growing like crazy. And then when they let that slide or slip, that the same thing happens in their business. It can start to stall, and people wonder why I'm working just as hard. Nothing can replace your personal development and growth. So I want to give you guys some steps to help you identify some limiting beliefs that you guys might have. I think everybody has limiting beliefs in some form. And I think it's important to identify them and be aware of them and try to work on a way to replace them. So again, we're working on, if you have a lack of self-belief or belief in yourself, what we can do from here. So I'm going to give you 4 steps to take to build belief in yourself. And this is really to eliminate limiting beliefs. So obviously step 1 is identifying what limiting belief you are holding as truth that is not currently serving you. And this is the hardest part. This is the hardest step. I want you guys to think, and you're not going to be able to complete this while we're on the phone, but I want you to take some good notes, because you're going to have to do this in the quiet hours when you have children interrupting. Out. Okay, thank you. Close the door. When your children are fast asleep and not bothering you, thank you. This is going to take time for you guys to really think through when you can kind of reflect, when you have time to reflect on things. And I should not say when you have time, but when you make the time to reflect on things. Identifying limiting beliefs. These are it's likely going to be a phrase that you heard a long time ago that you've internalized and you haven't even realized it probably, and it now drives you subconsciously. So it's helping you make decisions or react in certain ways, and you're not even thinking about it. Some examples of limiting beliefs that are stemming from phrases that you may have heard in your childhood. Money doesn't grow on trees. You can't do that. What will your mother think, or what will your mother say? You don't deserve that. You want too much. We don't have the money for that. What will people think? No one will take care of you. You have to take care of yourself. That last one was one that I've come to realize that I heard that a long, long time ago. No one will take care of you. You're going to have to take care of yourself. And recently I've realized what an impact that has had on me. And I'm sure there's phrases somewhere in your past that you've internalized, and it directs you, whether you realize it or not. And
Stephanie, can I intervene?
Yep, go for it.
So a couple months ago, Stephanie and I actually did a class with Productive Learning. And it was like about your thought process and different things. And this is the 3rd workshop I went to, and I was like, I don't know, I don't think, it's working for me. And then really when I got down to it, it's kind of like, you don't want to go to that safe spot in your mind, because really your brain is like fight or flight. Like, I need to do things to protect myself from dying. Like, that's really your brain's goal, is to just keep living. And so if anything kind of conflicts with that, it's going to hinder, it's going to hide, and it's going to want to hide away. And so when we got further into the class, really it was like the evening, like right when it was ending, I was like, oh my gosh, I had a revelation with the same thing, is that when I was younger, I was told that I cannot succeed. So even though like I say, yes, I can do this and I can do anything that I want to, like my mindset, like with, the Lord on my side, who can be against me, but really within my subconscious, I really believed like that I can't succeed. And that's something that I even have to do daily and tell myself, no, like that is not truth. That is not who I am. That does not define me.
Exactly.
And it really brings to light how powerful words are, that really stick with you throughout your life. So I think what she's saying is dead on. And it's really important for you to identify that for yourself, to see what could be holding you back from that.
So that's exactly perfect. Thank you. So how are you going to identify that? So we're still on step 1, but how can you figure out what your phrase is? You guys are going to have to take on a role of like a playful observer of your own self. I think the best way to observe these things and try to get down to the nitty gritty of it is if you can be self-aware enough when you react strongly to something. So when your spouse says whatever and you like fly off the handle, or you just have your, snappy comeback or whatever it is, if you can then take a second, and it might not be in the moment, but later when your kids are not driving you crazy, think about, okay, like why did I react that way? What feeling did that stem from? I was defensive. Why was I defensive? Because if he said that, then that must mean I'm this or whatever. And then so when you're kind of breaking it down that way and you're kind of going down the rabbit trails in your mind, just keep asking yourself why. When have I reacted that same way? When, how far back can I remember doing the same thing or hearing something that triggered me to act the same way? And then make sure that you guys are writing that kind of stuff down, because that's really good thinking. And it's going to, it can be a good 5-10 minutes if you're like really in tune and thinking about it. Make sure that you capture some of the things that kind of the revelations that come to you, like Sarah was saying. Really write it down. And okay, so step 2, once you've identified what those limiting beliefs are, or one of your limiting beliefs are, step number 2 is to accept that belief. Accept it. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just simply something that you've carried with you to this point. It's something that you heard. It may have, and it probably did at some point in your life, serve you. It probably served you in some way earlier on, to keep you safe, to, whatever. As a child, that might have, protected you, whatever it was. It served you at some point, but you need to recognize that now it's not serving you in reaching the goals that you are trying to achieve. So if you can just accept it, don't place blame or feel guilt or start we're not going to therapy and blaming our parents. It just is what it is. We're okay with it. We just recognize that now it's not serving me. And so now you're going to be able to choose to replace it. So like Sarah was saying, this whole process between step 2 and step 3 of like accepting that it is a belief that I have held and it's now not serving me and I'm choosing to replace it. This is an active process that it's going to take time. It takes awareness of our emotions and really being able to take a step back from like, okay, this was me reacting. Let me think about that. Like that takes a whole nother active process, and it takes practice. Like it doesn't mean that you do this one time and, oh, I didn't, Monday morning I decided to, or whatever. Yeah, tomorrow's Monday. Monday morning I decided to be quiet and think about things, and I came to this revelation, and then Tuesday it should be all fixed, right? Not right. It's an active process, like Sarah said. These are beliefs. They're rooted deep down in us, and it takes a lot of action to replace that. So step 3 is replace your old limiting belief with a new commitment. And I say commitment because it's an active process, like a commitment. If you think about a commitment to your spouse, it's a choice every day that you have to make to this new commitment. So it's not simply going to be the opposite of whatever your limiting belief is. So, for example, no one will take care of you. You have to take care of yourself. So I'm not going to flip that phrase and say, everyone will take care of me. It'll be fine. I just need to figure out what new belief will serve me. Whatever that is. I am fully capable of taking care of myself, but I need to, and I choose to invest in relationships. Whatever it is. Sarah, what do you have a phrase that you've replaced or
like for mine about that I can't succeed, and I just kind of replace it with in the past I thought that I can't succeed if I don't change my mindset and focus on what I'm trying to accomplish, and then giving my very best efforts in all capacities to complete it.
There you go. So I think the phrase that you choose to replace it with should really be like an active, a positive. I am, I do, I have, those type of statements.
Like an affirmation.
Like an affirmation. Exactly. So once you have your phrase, whatever your new commitment, your new belief is that you replace that old one with, this is where it's going to show up. Step 4. So what it should look like, what it can look like is that, you're traveling down your little road of life, and what your husband said last week that made you fly off the handle and start thinking about this. He says something tomorrow that, normally you would fly off the handle, and you start to react that way, and you're able to kind of pull back and realize, or you still react that way, but you're able to more quickly realize, okay, I reacted that way because I feel like this, and that's not the truth. The truth is, I'm competent, whatever. Okay. I really do want you guys to take these steps. Obviously, we couldn't do it all together right now, but I want you, if you have time tonight before bed, to really think about that, or think about something that happened today that you reacted in a way that didn't serve you, or to make it really applicable to plexus, think about the last time that something happened. Maybe you were out and you had the opportunity present itself to share about plexus and you chose not to. Think about the thought process. Think about why. Ask yourself why you didn't. What would have happened if you did? Or, why? Just go down that rabbit hole of thinking why, what's the worst that would have happened? What limited my action there. But I want you to go through those steps. And then step 4, once you have your new belief, your new commitment, I want you guys to commit to a couple of actions each day for a week. So 3 things. First, when you're in private, again, when your kids are not around, to close your eyes and say out loud that sentence, that belief. So I like to make it brief. The one that I've been working on, honestly, for the last couple of months has more to do with I had time. I would always get really overwhelmed about my schedule, and so then I would use that as an excuse to shut people off, et cetera, et cetera. So my phrase is, I choose to live peacefully and purposefully. And so just for example, so what I'm asking you to do in the morning, so you close your eyes and just out loud 3 times saying, I choose to live peacefully and purposefully 3 times. And then open your eyes and say it with your awareness of your world around you 3 times. I choose to live peacefully and purposefully. Now, the third thing that I want you to do is to actually write that commitment down each day with your dominant hand, and then I want you to write it with your non-dominant hand. So I want to open it back up to you guys and ask you, why do you think I would ask you to do that, and how did you feel when I asked you to write with your non-dominant hand? Just some initial reactions.
I know for me, I mean, I'm a left hand. I write with my left. So I was like, when I wrote with my right, I was like, that is ugly. Like, it's not pretty. It's not nice. It looks like a mess.
My first thought was, but I can do it either way. It's just, if I did it more with my left hand, it would start to look more like my right hand. That's what it was.
Exactly. Good. Anybody else? Initial reaction? Oh, who is that?
Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect. Yes, exactly. So, yeah. So the first time you write with your non-dominant hand, it's going to probably take more time. It's going to be harder. It's not going to be as pretty and clean and neat. But like you were saying, practice makes perfect. So the more times you do it, the more comfortable it's going to get. You know, if you want to make it as easy and second nature as it is to write with your right hand, you're going to have to practice a lot with your left hand, or vice versa, whichever non-dominant. And so the same goes for replacing limiting beliefs. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be pretty at first. It's not going to be seamless, because the beliefs that we hold within us currently have been with us for years and years and years, and they're so ingrained in us that it's functioning on a subconscious level. We don't even have to think about it. We just react. So if you want to replace that and change the way that your actions are, it's gonna be a process. So that's kind of, oh wait, no, that's not kind of. I've got a strong closing for you guys. Hold on. All right, and I wanted to close with a quote from one of my favorite network marketers, Orrin Woodward. And he says, "Belief is the magic key that unlocks your dreams." So I just want you guys to know that you are worth it, that you deserve this, and I want you to build up your belief, and you will be unstoppable. So with that, I don't know if you want to open it up to questions, or probably a good time to stop recording.
Awesome. Yes.